Hey, everybody, welcome into Gino's Best Major Push Wrestling Talk Show Podcast. I'm here to talk about this past week's Monday Night Raw from August 26th, 2024. I know I'm a little late to the party, but sometimes life has a way of changing your schedule. So here we go. I'm going to get that down over there, and we're going to get right into it. The show opened up with the New Judgment Day. They're all standing side by side. I thought that was great. They're talking. Their whole thing is about not having a leader. I like that. I liked what they're doing with that. I think that's good storytelling. I think that there really is no clear-cut leader of them other than Finn Balor, but they're all kind of relatively the same size and things like that. So I was expecting the Terror Twins to show up, but instead we got Rey Mysterio's music, which is an absolute banger of a song. Like, I listen to that at the gym. Booyaka 619. If you haven't heard it, throw that on. It's like a Spanish rock song. It's awesome. And this is, I believe, the first time that we've had Dominic and Rey Mysterio interacting since Dominic beat him with Liv's assistance. Right? It wasn't clean. A few months ago, maybe. The smack talk between Rey and Dominic was top-notch. I'd like to see your old ass try. I can't even imagine what it would be like to be a father and have to physically look up to your son because you're so short. Like, how do you impose punishments on him and things? So it's very awesome. And WWE knows what they have in this. And Rey Mysterio's old and he's still moving around crazy. It led to a tag match, and they had this crazy spot where all of them jumped out of the ring at the same time. They had to slow it down a little bit because they didn't want to run into each other. Totally fine. Hey, everybody, welcome into the live chat. I see you guys posting. I'm just going to go ahead and go through this quickly so I can get to more stuff to do. So then we had the Randy and Gunther commercial. Came back to the tag match. Of course, they had on the lower thirds still to come. I think that's awesome. I think it's awesome when in the opening of the show, without having to have Michael Cole's voice and stuff like that, you just kind of show us, oh, this is also coming up later on in the show. I think that's really well done from WWE. Joaquin Wilde really impressed me in this match. He was not on my radar at all, and he was very impressive to me. So when you can be impressive and get on my radar on your own terms, right? Like they say in Wedding Crashers, draw attention to yourself, but on your own terms. I thought that was great. Dom's head hit really hard after a move from Rey Mysterio from the turnbuckle or top rope. I was really concerned for him. It looked like the ref was really concerned for him too. But Dominic got up, continued, finished, did all the things he needed to do. So I wonder if he's okay and just really good at selling. But it did look problematic. So we'll see what happens with that. We then had, I remember, real quick, I remember finding myself thinking, this should be a premium live event match. But the way it ended with the Terror Twins and things like that, it felt like what I wouldn't want to see in a PLE, premium live event match. So I thought it was good to keep it on here. They're doing 5 matches on the pay-per-view in Berlin. Speaking of which, I will be an honored guest again on No DQ Review. Go follow their channel too after you're done watching this video. No DQ videos, I believe their whole channel is called, but it's No DQ, Aaron Rift. I'm going to be a guest on their show tomorrow night, Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time in the USA. Millie's going to be absolutely banned from ringside because she's been bothering me every time I do a wrestling video. So we got a Miz and Bronson Reed segment. It was okay backstage. Damage Control came out. They're still over with the crowd. Then we had a New Day segment backstage where they're kind of mending fences. PFC came out. Pure Fusion Collection. No Zoe music again, but I think it was new music that they had. So, okay. It's not as good as Zoe Stark's music, in my opinion, but it is what it is. Zelina Vega ended up interfering in the match. She's back. I'm excited about that. She's also gotten herself on my radar in a good way. Then we had a little Uncle Howdy segment backstage, and then we had Drew McIntyre come out to the ring after commercial. He's so good. It's Drew McIntyre when he's on my screen, he's must watch. And it's even to the point where his music isn't bothering me anymore like it used to. Finally. I mean, it takes them having to have a match, but they actually let Jey Uso and the crowd enjoy his entrance. Fancy that. You got one of the most over people in your company, and last week you only had him talk for a minute backstage. That just makes zero sense to me, especially on Pat McAfee's last night. Oh, God, that was so stressful. But they had him. The crowd is so hyped. He comes through the crowd. I'm not a big fan of coming to the crowd like that. I always think something was going to go wrong. But for the most part, it seemed to work out. And then we had, that was the Karrion Kross, Kofi Kingston match. It's an okay match. Obviously, it's being used to set up their storyline, and Jey won. Obviously, why wouldn't he win? The thing I want to talk about the most is the Braun Strowman, Bronson Reed parking lot brawl. At first, since they started in the ring, and then Bronson Reed leaves, I thought, this makes him look like a chicken. This kind of makes him look weak, but then he was setting up Braun. So this is why you let the segment play out, right? It's like watching a movie. You don't like the first part of the movie, wait till the end. Like, at least give it a chance to tell its story. And as it was going through, I'm like, okay, this is better and better. And then obviously they went in the car, and I just remember myself thinking how dangerous this spot's going to be. I mean, obviously they know it's dangerous, but with Braun's neck over the edge of the car, like, no matter how much the hood sank, like, he was going to get some type of friction, some type of impact on his neck. And then he said he couldn't feel his hand. I don't know if that's really good selling, or I don't know if that's in real life. But if it's real life, I'm not surprised with that spot. You'd think it would have been done where he's lying, where his neck won't hit across the crossbar of the car, like the strongest part of the cars. It was great. I mean, as far as the segment, and you can't tell if it's real or not, I mean, that's the whole point. Then we had the triple threat match: Pete Dunne, Xavier Woods, and I can't remember who the last person was, but Dunne wins. It was a good match. I enjoyed it. I would have preferred Xavier Woods to win and kind of further the storyline there. Pete Dunne is doing amazing work on Raw, and he's doing amazing work on NXT, which I have kind of fallen off of a little bit, which I wish I hadn't, but it's just life gets really hectic, and I've got a bunch of other stuff going on. So I am going to try and catch up, at least on the YouTube videos that I can watch to get caught up quickly. With No Mercy coming up on Sunday, like, that's my favorite video game, No Mercy, and I love the name of the pay-per-view, so I think that it's worth me catching up. But WWE does a great job at the start of these pay-per-views. Like, you don't need to know anything going into it because they're going to show you the video packages. And then we had a promo from Braun Breaker talking about the tournament, stuff like that. Thank you, D-Wall, in the chat, for reminding me that it was The Miz that was with them. I really appreciate that. Yes, and The Miz, thank you, because that reminds me, The Miz, it's almost like this was his coming out party for, like, dude, I've been in this industry for a long time. Y'all think I can't wrestle? Like, this is a move. This is a move. This is something new. Like, he was really top-notch wrestling, and I respect that. The Miz, I've often said, is kind of lived the life that I kind of had envisioned for myself when I was a kid. From a reality TV star, not ashamed about being a wrestling fan, and then gets the tryout, becomes a wrestler, beats John Cena at WrestleMania. John Cena used to be my camp counselor, so it's always been a dream of mine to kind of beat him at WrestleMania for the WWE title. And then he goes on to, marry the love of his life and have beautiful family and have another reality TV show on his own. So he's kind of, I'm envious, or at least I used to be, of what he's done with his life. And there's something admirable about that for sure. They had a Psycho Sid Vicious, rest in peace package. The WWE always does a great job with these packages. I didn't realize how involved he was, because that was a little bit before my consciousness developed when I was a kid. So I wasn't really watching it at that point, but I love that they show us how important he was to the industry, how imposing he was. And it's very intelligent to cut to commercial after a death package. You like to see the Oscars when they show the in memoriams. There's nothing that you can do to follow that, so you might as well just cut to commercial and then come back and then bring the energy back. So I think that's really well done. We had the main event of the evening was Bo Dallas versus Chad Gable. Uncle Howdy, rather. And he didn't come out with the Wyatt Six. I don't know if he's put on weight. I don't know if he's put on weight or not, but he's starting to look just like Bray Wyatt. I find myself thinking it's Bray Wyatt. Yes, I agree. I think The Miz is definitely past the point of where he's going to be pushed as a main event star, but he does elicit a reaction, no matter whether he's a good guy or a bad guy. So we'll see. We'll see if he gets another major title run in that. So there's a bunch of interference. Uncle Howdy did a really good job. He was wrestling uniquely. Like, this is the big coming out party for Uncle Howdy. If he doesn't deliver in the ring, the whole gimmick, all of the Wyatt Six, it just goes down out the window. I thought he did a great job. There was no way he was losing this match, because that would have just been belligerently awful booking. Uncle Howdy wins after help from the Wyatt Six, and he beat Chad Gable on his first match back. I thought that was really well done, and I'm looking forward to see what they do. I mean, I thought Chad looked great in defeat. I mean, he almost looked better than Uncle Howdy in the match. So that was interesting to me that they were doing that, but you want to build him up as a credible person. I mean, he is an Olympian, right? He was wrestling essentially like Kurt Angle, which I see absolutely no problem with, as long as, Kurt Angle is giving him some blessing. I don't really know how it works. Do you get permission to use the move, or you don't? Let's see here. D-Wall also said that, he's a slot filler. Miz was a slot filler, which is an interesting take. I like that opinion as well. I wish I could put it up on the screen. I don't have the ability to do that right now, so I'm hoping that it comes up for you guys. But yeah, all in all, I would say Raw was a pretty good show. I don't regret having watched it. I'm sorry that it took so long to get this video out, guys. But those are my thoughts on Raw. I'm not like giving grades on it or anything. I like to just kind of compare it to SmackDown. So we'll see on my SmackDown review how it compared to Raw. But Raw was a good show. The Braun Strowman, Bronson Reed stuff, top notch. The wrestling on the show was really good. And I watch it more for the male soap opera of it. But when it comes time to the bell to ring, like, that needs to be enjoyable too. Like, I can't tell you how many people I try to show wrestling to, and it's like, oh, this is like, it's boring. And you don't want to feel that when you're watching it through the TV. You want to feel entertained. So good job all around. And guys, I appreciate you stopping by and watching this video, either live or, at your leisure on demand. Don't forget to let me know what you thought in the comment section below, and I will catch you guys on the next one. Later.